Are you tired of Obsidian tutorials that takes forever to get your setup ready to go? Well, me too. So this video, you, my friend, are in luck, because we are going to speed run through the setup of this Obsidian vault that is specifically designed for work. This is everything you need in order to be on top of your game. And it doesn't matter how many meetings, how many projects, how much knowledge is going to be thrown at you, because you have this amazing tool, which is just going to make everything in your work life feel easy. People are going to look at you and wonder, are you on drugs? Because you are super productive, but you're not. You're just high on the drug of life and a little supplement called Obsidian. There's going to be 3 videos. The first one is the one that you're watching now, which is the speedrun video, which I just want to get through it as quickly as possible. We have the longer form video, which is similar to my previous videos, where I go through the setup again, but I also explain the methodologies and the theories behind the different things that we implement in this vault. And then the third one is going to be a work with me video, in which I recorded myself recording these videos and setting up this vault. So you can see exactly from start to finish how I start thinking about a video that I want to do, how I start building out the theory, and how I choose the thumbnails, everything from start to finish. So that's just for the people that would like to see how I actually use Obsidian and take notes. But for this one, it is a speed run. So let's quickly show you what this dashboard is used for and what we're going to do with this vault, what we're going to build, the templates that we're going to have, and the functionality that it will give you to make sure that you are on top of your game. You can see from first glance, we have attachments, journal, notes, Seedbox, templates, folders. Only 5 folders in our vault. The journal is from our daily notes first. So this is where all our daily notes are going to go, and weekly notes and monthly notes. There's just ways for us to roll up our information and be able to go back in time to see what we've done. And we also follow the daily notes first methodology, which just says that every day you open up that day's note, and it acts as a jump off platform for everything else that you do. So every day you're going to open up this note first, your daily note on that specific day. You can see your tasks. That's automatically going to pull through via data view queries. And you are going to start filling in what you do every hour or so. So let's say you remember a task, you put in a task, and this task is automatically going to be pushed through to the place where you want to see it. You specify the meetings that you have. You specify the sprints, the efforts that you have with regard to certain projects. We have notes. All our notes just goes here. We have our seed box, which is just a dumping ground for notes that you want to come back to and do some work on. And of course, we have our templates. We're going to run through the creation of these templates as well. Daily note, log sprint, meeting note, MOC, monthly note template, new note template, people, project, sub-project, weekly notes. Now we go to our home page and see what other functionality this dashboard is going to give us. Well, we have a project MOC, or map of content. And map of contents are just home pages for certain subjects. So you can think of this as the project homepage. And here we can see that we have all our open and closed projects. We have no closed projects and we have 1 open project. And just for curiosity's sake, let's quickly go into this project that we have, this project admin. You can see that we have sub-projects, meetings, tasks and questions, sprints. And if we open up the sub-projects, we can see we have 1 sub-project, but they can be multiple. And we have our meetings, which we can see from our sub-projects. And we have a short summary of these meetings as well. So it's one way to retrieve the meetings associated with a project and its sub-projects. We have all the tasks and questions as well. So you see the open tasks and questions, and it's just a fun way to quickly and rapidly switch context. If you are a person that works in an environment where you have a lot of different projects, where you need to switch between, okay, I'm not working on this thing right now, I'm working on the other thing. You want a page where you can jump to and see, okay, if I'm working on this thing, this sub-project, what do I need to concentrate on? And you already have your tasks that pulls from anywhere in your Obsidian vault. And sprints, as I said before, this is just you logging your efforts. This is efforts that you do in order to move a project forwards. So that's our Project MOC, where you can get an overview of all your projects and quickly context switch. Then we have a task MOC, which is a very simplified one that just shows you all your open tasks and closed tasks. But again, you can go look at your tasks via your daily note, because if we go to our daily note, you can see there's tasks as well. When you open up your daily note, you're going to see the tasks. Or you can go to the project itself and go look for the tasks there, or you can come to the task homepage or task MOC. Then we have our meeting, just all our meetings. But again, you can go to the project or sub-project to go see the meetings specific to that project. We have our sprints. Again, same thing. This is just going to be all your sprints. So it's quickly for you to see what is the last thing that you were busy with. We have our knowledge base. And our knowledge base is just a data view query that retrieves all our notes in our notes folder, excluding the MOCs. And this is just for you to interact with the data that you are accumulating throughout your career. And you'll have how to submit timesheets, a note that Dipsy process timesheets, blah, blah, blah. You can go into it and we can see, oh, there's steps to log our timesheets, but this note is going to be referred to a project as well. So Knowledge Base MOC is just a database of all your notes with a summary with tags. Then we have our people. All your stakeholders going to pop up here because every person is going to have their own note. And when we go into the people themselves, in this case Dipsy, you can see that Dipsy, the giggle that is always tipsy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And you can see the last time we had contact with this person, we have a log, which if you mentioned this person in a log, they would pop up. So quick demonstration. Let's say we say at 12, remember to message Dipsy. So this is a note that I want to go to Dipsy from a daily note. Now if I go back to Dipsy, you can see that this pops up with the data note. Then we have tasks and questions, which also pops up related to Dipsy. And you can fill in other details if you so wish. But the People MOC just gives you a quick little summary of all your stakeholders and all the people you engage with in your work context. Seedbox, these are just logs that you capture anywhere in your vault with the task format that you still want to do something with. So it's not finished, you still need to add tags or you still need to add some information. So you want it to come here because this is basically the landing zone for notes that you still want to do some work on. And let's say you quickly want to take a quick note which needs metadata. If we go back, you can see that it will pop up in our Seedbox notes. Oh, that's because I didn't move it here. So if we move this one to the Seedbox, you can see that if there's a note in our Seedbox, by right-clicking new note, these are notes that we still want to do some work on and it will pop up here. I'm just going to delete that one. Then lastly is last modified, and this functionality is just there for you to quickly context switch between the previous, most recently modified notes. And that's always going to be on your right hand side. And that's all the functionality of this vault. It is adhering to the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. It looks simple, but the functionality that comes out of a dashboard like this, a personal knowledge management tool set up in this way, is tremendous. You will feel like you are on top of the world if you get into this workflow. So let's jump into setting this up as quickly as possible. I know some of you do not want to go through the tedious process of pausing and writing out the data feed queries and setting everything up yourself, but you want the finished product. And for those with the means, you can follow the link in the description to buy this vault. So watch this video, see how it works, and then just go buy it if you're familiar with Obsidian. Even if you're not, this will give you a nice head start. I know we are all at different places in our lives with regards to time versus money. But if you have the time, watch this video. You will be able to set up everything exactly the way I've set it up in the product or the vault that I'm selling. And if you're the type of person that value your time a little bit more, then you can just spend a couple of euros and support me to continue creating these videos. So without further ado, let us start. We are starting a brand new vault, and it's going to be the speed run, where we're going to get through this vault set up as quickly as possible. The vault name is going to be the Ultimate Work Setup 2024. You're going to choose your location. I already chose my location. You can just go browse and save it under your documents or anywhere basically on your PC. I save it to my Google Drive and you say create. And you are welcomed by a note which you immediately will delete. Delete. First things first, we're going to create some folders. First folder that we're going to create, attachments. The next folder is going to be journal, and the journal is going to have some subfolders, and it's going to be 01 daily, new folder 01 weekly, and new folder 03 monthly. Then the next folder that we're going to have is going to be notes, where all your notes are just going to go. We're going to have Seedbox. This is just for ideas that still needs some working and extra tags and extra, let's say, tender loving care. Your aim is for the Seedbox to be completely empty. And templates, where all your templates will be stored. Now we have our 5 main folders. What we're going to do now, you can close the graph view. We're going to go to settings at the bottom left, and we're going to install some community plugins. You're going to go to community plugins, turn on community plugins, and you're going to say browse. First one that we want is calendar. You're going to say install, and you are going to say enable. Then you're going to search for periodic notes, and this works with calendar. You're going to click install, and you're going to click enable. Then we have templater for our templates, install and enable. And lastly, and some would say most importantly, data view, install and enable. So we want to change some general settings. So you go to the little gear icon, settings at the bottom left, and you go to files and links. We want to say automatically adapt. Delete files, moves this into trash. That's correct. We want to automatically update internal links. Default location for new notes is going to be in the folder specified below, and that's going to be our notes folder, which we've created. What we're going to do then is for the default locations for attachments, and we're going to specify, you guessed it, subfolder name, not subfolder, same folder and a folder specified below, and it's going to be templates. Next thing that I'm going to do is I like to work in source mode, specifically when I set up a new vault, because there's a lot of data view queries that we need to work on, and live preview does not work so well. You can always change it back later. Editor, change to source mode. Let's go through the community plugins that we just installed. If we go to the top right and we go to calendar, we can see that the calendar plugin is installed. If we go to settings and we go to community plugins calendar, we want to show the week note because we're going to use the week note. For data view, you're going to change some date settings. So for this, you're going to change the current date format to year, month, day. And for the date plus time format, year, month, day, hour, minute, AM, PM. And that's it for data view. Periodic notes, we're going to use daily, weekly, and monthly. You can say dismiss. And the format, this is the format that we want specified in. We want it to create a new folder if there's not already a folder in the journal location, which we'll specify here. We're going to say year, month, so that's the folder it needs to create. And then the format that the name needs to be in is year, month, day. You can see that if there's no 5th month folder, it will create that in the year as well. The templates we'll come back to later. And here we want to specify that it's going to be in the daily. So it's going to go to this folder, the subfolder daily. We want to do the same for the weekly notes. Where do the weekly notes, if you click it on a calendar, where does it need to be placed? It needs to be placed in journal weekly. And the format is we wanted to create a year folder if there's not a year folder. And we're going to use the same default format, which looks like this. Same for monthly notes. I wanted to create a year folder. And we want it to be placed in the monthly folder. The templates we'll come back to later. Templater folder location, templates. Where does it need to go look for templates? In our template folder. We can switch this functionality on. You can go read about it. I found it quite handy. We're not going to use this, but I would advise for ease of use of new templates. Then trigger template on new file creation. That's it for those settings. Let's create some templates. New note template. You can pause it if you want to write it out. And we're just going to specify one thing that I've noticed now. I just need to go change a hotkey. You can go change it to what you want on your computer. For me, the hotkeys, one thing I want to change is, okay, so toggle reading view, I just changed to Control E on my MacBook, and open insert template modal to Command E. Just works better for me. Then I can easily switch to just make sure that it has the correct notation. What we want is we want it to be a date. For summary, that's fine. Up, alias tags, everything else is fine. That's that for new note templates. Next template that we want is the daily note template. And what we want here is this. Daily note template, create a date. Just going to take the current date's name, and we have a summary, previous, next, week. We have the tasks and then the log. Pause it. Then we're going to go to the weekly note template. And all that the weekly note template is going to do is just going to go collect all the days of that week and return its summary. So it's just a chronological way to go back in time and find days and information just a little bit easier. You can also add some extra metadata columns here, like let's say tags for that day. And then we want to create a monthly note template. And that looks exactly the same as the weekly, but just going to return all the days with their summaries. Next we have the people template. The people template looks like this. Metadata, we have a summary of this person. We have the last time you have had contact with this person. And we have the log, which is going to return tasks or questions. And it does not contain tasks or questions. So it's just general logs that you've mentioned this person. And this is going to be tasks and questions. You can pause and just copy it. One thing that we also need to do is we need to go to reading mode and make sure that it is the property date. Everything else looks fine. Next, we have the MOC template, map of content template. We'll create a couple of MOCs just a little bit later. And the MOC template is going to be easy as well. Create a date with template code and tags, MOC, with a little bit of summary. And we're going to choose date. We have our project template. And we follow David Allen's book, Getting Things Done. And you are going to have main projects and sub-projects. So this project template is for main projects. So think of project admin, and the sub-projects will be timesheets, will be expense claims, etc., etc. The metadata, just make sure it's date again, and it is. See, it automatically fills in type project. We have these different metadata fields that can be filled in. Summary, and then it pulls in the sub-projects. This is the data view code for it. It goes and looks in the up category. The up category, if this is the project, and then it will automatically detect that, oh, this is a sub-project to this project. We have meetings related to this main project, tasks and questions, open tasks, and closed tasks, and then we have sprints. Again, if you don't want to write all this out, feel free to support me by buying the demo vault. Next, we have sub-project template. And sub-project template looks almost exactly the same, but just sub-project status active. It also have meetings, also have tasks and questions, open, closed, and sprints. Again, just pause if you want to write out, or you can just support me and buy the demo vault for this. Meeting note template. Meeting note template is for meetings, and we keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle: create a date, update a date, related participants, tags, summary. Then you just start filling in your details of the meeting here. And lastly, we have our log sprint template. And this is just for all the efforts that you do. That's it for the templates. We can now go back to our settings and periodic notes and specify which templates the periodic notes should use. This one is going to be template, daily note template. This one is going to be weekly note template. And this one is going to be, you guessed it, monthly note template. Let's go create some MOCs. First one is going to be home. And for home, we want a couple of things. We want to create, well, let's just create the MOC, because home is a type of MOC. We have the creator date. we have the tags to the top of MOC and summary. And we can just see MOCs. We have project, task, meeting, sprint, knowledge base, people, seedbox, last modified. We're gonna start creating them from top to bottom. Project MOC. You're gonna create a template for MOC template. Just to get the metadata, it is a type MOC. And we can see that this is going to be all projects. I'm going to have open projects and closed projects. Simple code where it just looks where a node has the tag type project and the status is not complete. And then for the closed projects, you'll see the status is complete. The only difference is this little exclamation mark. Make sure to type it correctly. Any small mistake will completely break it. You can see we don't have any open and closed projects. That's it for the project MOC. The next is going to be task MOC. You're going to do the same thing. MOC template. It's for the metadata. All tasks. And the code is going to look like this. Open. It's going to be a data view query looking for tasks where it's a task. And close is going to look for a task that's completed, not completed. Next, meeting node templates or meeting MOC. Using MOC template, all meetings, and the code looks like this. Just look for where tags of a node contains type meeting. Next we have sprints. Create our MOC template, all sprints, and the data query will go retrieve all tasks from not templates where it has this tag. Knowledge Base MOC. All notes. People, all projects. So this is just a quick summary. I advise that people use for every note that they create, they have some type of summary. Just helps with finding information again. And this is the data query. And you can see we have nothing, but if we create a test, new note template, and we say, hoi, ik leer Nederlands. And what we should see, a summary. And we can also add tags. I'm just going to delete that for now. And then that should disappear. Then we have People MOC. Create a template of MOC template or sheeple. Again, a very simplified data view query, just looking for nodes with type person tag. Seedbox MOC, MOC template. This is going to be logs and notes. So the first one is returning tags. Words. First one is returning tasks. Second one's returning notes. And these are just notes and logs that need some processing. Something that you've just done in a hurry, which you need to come back to and add tags, add information, add color to. last modified. This one I'm not going to add any metadata because I'm going to use it quite a bit. And this is quite fun code. All this does is it just looks at your previous 100 notes that you've modified, and it just shows you what notes you have worked on last. What I like to do is I like to drag this to the side panel. You can see it's still here in our notes, but we just create a view of it on the right hand side that we can always quickly reference. And I like to pin it. And I like to do the same for the home page. I like to put it on the left hand side, and I like to pin it. Now we have everything done. You can see on the left hand side we have a nice little MOC going. We have our project, task, meeting, sprint, knowledge base, people, Seedbox, and last modified. All the community plugins works, and we're basically done. Now let's quickly run through them and have some examples so that you can know how to use it. So for the daily note, we always start with the daily note template. Summary: this is the first day of using the Vault. And we have tasks that pull in, and this is where we're going to have our logs. So let's say at 8 a.m. we specify and you need to put bullet points. You specify a task for yourself that you say need to be done today. And it is explain how the Vault work quickly. Then you can see that the task will pop up here. Now if tomorrow we haven't by tomorrow completed a task, it would still pop up the next day, even though the date that we specified is 20th. That's because we just check for all the open tasks in the current month. So let's quickly show how the weekly rollup works. So for the weekly rollup, if you create let's just go to the next day and give a quick summary. This is the second day of using the Vault. Now we have 2 days in this week. If you want a weekly overview, you just click on the current week, and it creates it automatically. You can see that for each day, it's going to give us the date and a summary. We can add other metadata fields as well. Let's just say for the next week, we have more notes. And I would advise that every day you need to create, or every work day at least, you need to create a note. This is part of the second week. And I just created for the 28th as well. More notes. You can see that these guys next week aren't showing up in the previous week, which makes sense. If you click on the 22nd, you can see that the days of that week shows up. Now you might ask, how does the monthly note show up? Well, we have the daily, weekly, monthly folders. You can see in the daily, it automatically created 2024-05. If you click in the next month, it's for the daily example of how our system is set up to create folders automatically. You can see that this is the 3rd, for instance, is going to be next month. We don't have a folder for 06 in 2024. But when you click create, it automatically creates that 06 folder. And it automatically places it there. So I'm just going to delete that for now. For the monthly folder, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either do a new note and place it with exactly the same format. And that format would then be 2024-05. And then you can Command P. No, you can open a template modal, which is in my case Command E. And you can say monthly note template. Then it pulls in the date of your query. And it just shows you all the days with the summary. Now, if you want to create the next month or the previous month folder, you need to go through these steps. But we've done this manually. Let's say we want to do this automatically. You can delete this file. We can say Command P for the command modal. And you can type in monthly. You can see periodic notes, open monthly note, and it automatically knows that you are in the current month, and it's going to take that template. So that's the daily, weekly, monthly. What we might want to look at is how the project MOC looks. So let's say for the projects, we don't have any projects. Let's say we create a new project. Project admin. We open a template modal and we say this is a project. So we have our sub-projects, meetings, tasks, and sprints, but there's nothing here. So let's just say the summary of this is everything admin. For this, we have one sub-project which we want to roll up to this one, and that would be sub-project timesheets. We open up the template modal and we say this is going to be a sub-project template. First things first, we need to specify that this rolls up to project admin. So this just creates the hierarchy, and you can see we also have no meetings, no tasks, no sprints. But if you go back to project admin now, you can see that we have sub-projects, project admin, create a date, summary tags. No meetings yet. So let's just pin this one. You can see in the projects, we have the project admin. We can close that for now. Let's just say we are on the 20th, which we are. At 9 a.m. we had our first meeting. First meeting regarding timesheets and admin. We create that note, and I will advise that meeting notes always need to start with the date because it gives chronological relevancy, also easier to return. We're going to open up the template modal. We're going to say this is a meeting note template. We're going to say the up, in this case, it needs to roll up to sub-project timesheets and project admin. Participants, we don't have anybody in the vault. Let's call this Dipsy Whipsy. First admin meeting with Dipsy, where he, she, they showed me how to do timesheets. And then we have our notes. And the notes here is, let's say there's a task that we need to do. Can't specify task. Can't specify it needs to be done tomorrow. And again, all tasks or completed tasks will show up in the current month. So this one would show up in all the daily notes that is in the 5th month. Stalk Dipsy Whipsy for promotion material. So we have a task, and let's say we have another task, which is ask Dipsy Whipsy how to get to the Whipsy offices. And this is a task which has Dipsy Whipsy involved. And we can also add a date, which let's just say it's today. So this is a meeting. I can quickly go see how it rolls up to the timesheets. So it should be here, timesheets. And before we go to the task and questions and sprints, we should add that this task needs to be pushed through to sub-project timesheets. And if you want this task to be pushed through to the main project admin, you can add it as project admin. Same for this one. You can put it. So what this does is just specifies where this task needs to be pushed through. So you can see that the meeting has been pushed through to our sub-project and our main project because we specified it here. on the up. Now the next thing, we obviously want these tasks to appear in our project admin and our sub-project timesheets. So we go to tasks, you can see that these have been filled in here. You can see it has been rolled up into that specific meeting note. And if you check it off, it goes to closed. And if you uncheck it, it goes to open again. Next thing that we need to do is we need to create a person. So we haven't created Dipsy Wipsy yet. So let's create Dipsy Wipsy. Click on it, open up the templates model, in my case, Command E, and you say People Template. Dipsy Wipsy, the guy, girl, they, them, that is always tipsy. And here you can add birthday related, blah, blah, blah. But you can see that any logs will appear here. But specifically tasks and questions, it also pop up here. So let's say you just remember you have certain tasks related to Dipsy Wipsy. You can easily go find it in multiple places. You can either find it in the subproject or the project, or even under our tasks, because all our tasks will pop up here as well. All our tasks. Or you can just go to Dipsy Wipsy, her or himself, or they, themselves, they, people. Okay, so that's it for tasks. Let's quickly talk about sprints. So sprints, what I normally like to do is if I have a concentrated effort, so let's say I am doing my timesheets. I put in a task format, which looks like this. And then I say Command E and I say log sprint. So this is a sprint on project. I always like to start with the smaller one, sub project timesheets. It also relates to project admin. And this sprint complete timesheets for 2024-05. Next, complete timesheets for 2024-06. And what I like to do is I like to put in the steps that I've done in this sprint. So I would put HTTPS link to the timesheets link. I'll put I struggled and had to contact the people's HR team to help me out. And solution, for instance. Now if I go back to, well, let's say next month, I do my timesheets. I can go to sub-project timesheets and I can go look at the previous sprints. And something is a little bit wrong. And it's because it wasn't filled in correctly. So it means that our template for log sprints is possibly not correct. Just want to test it. Oh no, I just made a mistake. So it just copy everything. Well, the only thing that I perhaps did wrong was just this guy, which I just need to move back. Or I just need to move all of them here. And then it works fine. So now if I go to project timesheets, you can see that all the steps are here. And project admin as well, you can see that it also pops up there. That's how the sprints work. I basically just say what I did, and I do this for everything. If I buy something on Amazon, I like to say, this is a sprint on buying things online or project online shopping. And then it's just a quick and easy way in the future to come back to it and look what I have done. Let's quickly talk about Knowledge Base MOC. See, last modifier is the only one that pops up here. And for good reason, because let's say this is a new note, how to submit timesheets. A note that Dipsy Wipsy
see process timesheets, blah, blah, blah. Steps. 1, login HTTPS, 2, quit and burn the building down. So if we go back to our knowledge base, you can see that we have how to submit timesheets, and these are the type of notes that you just might want to see a quick summary of. You can also put a date filter, which I'm not going to do now, and tags on timesheets. So you can obviously add additional filters to it. They not like us. They not like us. How to submit timesheets. You can see that you can filter on tags as well. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the people. Just going to be all the people. You can also put date filters and add extra tags here if you so wish. That will be in a longer form video. Seedbox, this is all the notes that have last modified seedbox either in this note. So if there's a note that you want to come back to and make sure that you don't forget to do something or add a tag or add the sub and main projects to, then you'll just come add it here. Let's say we created a note 2024-05-21 meeting with and you didn't know who the meeting was with. So then you just pop it up in Seedbox and you'll create, let's say, meeting note template, but you still want to fill in the up participants, but this was a note that was made in a rush and you just like rushing through this. Now, if you go to the Seedbox, you'll see that the seed notes that pops up here is notes that you need to come back to, that you need to change. Oopsie doopsie. You need to say that this was also related to sub projects, timesheets, and project admin, participants. Oopsie whoopsie. Summary here, catch phrase here. Okay, now you have processed it and you saw it because it was under the Seedbox notes. And now you obviously want to move it away. So if you don't want it to pop up here because you have processed it, you just move it to notes and then it magically disappears. Same for logs. This is just going to your daily notes and you have a log that you want to come back to. So log sprint template. Okay, there's definitely something that is wrong here. Log sprint template. Just try this again. That works. On, and we just fill in on Seedbox. Log Seedbox. The sprint, blah, blah, blah. And you want to fill in this because you don't know what you want to do next. And the Seedbox, this is where it will appear. And once you go to it and you fill in the details that you want, do da, 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 and then you can remove this. You add it to the project or person that you want. Let's say it's again timesheets. Now if you go back to the seed box, it should be empty. So this is a way for you to manage those files that you want to come back to, and you want to make sure that you still do something so that your system don't get messy. This is just a seed box that captures those notes and those logs. So you go, you can see that there's another log. Wonderful. And last modified, it's just for reference. Sorted. That is it, my friends. If you don't feel like following along with my boring voice, just again, shout out to this vault that you can buy. And by buying it, you are supporting me. You are helping me to create more of these videos and to bring them out at a quicker rate. So again, the link is in the description if you want to support me, or you can just buy me a coffee to say thank you. Stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, the next video number 2, is going to be the long form, which is going to be the same thing that we did here today, but it's just going to be explaining the methodologies and the theories that we are using. The way I set this vault up is based off of a lot of my own methodologies and theories on how to properly use your knowledge. So that is going to be quite a long video. Until next time, strength and honor.